I am unbought and unbossed, which means that nobody controls Shirley Chisholm. I am the first Black woman to ever be elected to Congress. I was born in 1924 in Brooklyn, New York. It was my father who had a particular interest in politics. And through our many conversations, I was introduced to the subject. Now, when I was in college, a professor told me that I had a gift and a talent for politics, and he recommended that I go into the field as a profession. But when I graduated with my degree in sociology, I worked for several years as a teacher's aide in Harlem. But in 1946, I got my first real taste of politics when I worked on the successful campaign of a Black judge in New York. It was such an exciting time. I was active in the neighborhood groups and organizations, and I was a part of the NAACP. But most importantly, I was able to learn the needs of the people. I was elected Assemblywoman of New York in 1964. Then 4 years later, I had the audacity to make another daring move and enter the race for United States Congress. I became the first Black woman to ever be elected to Congress as a Democrat. During my freshman year, they assigned me to the rural villages and forests. Now here, I come from an urban district, and these men put me on a committee where you have to deal with trees. I refused to accept the committee assignment. And that was a bold move for a freshman in Congress. I gained a strong reputation for fighting for the working people. I didn't go to Congress to stay away from explosive issues so I could keep coming back. I attacked Black politicians who sold out their constituents, and I took a strong stance on issues. I pushed for public health care and public education reform. I wrote a book called Shirley Chisholm, The Illusion of Inclusion. Racism is so widespread in this country, so universal and so deep-seated that it's invisible because it's normal. And it's sad to say that of my two handicaps, being a woman has put more obstacles in my path than being Black. The road is hard if you're Black and a woman. But still, in 1972, I announced my candidacy for President of the United States, the first Black woman to ever do so. And I took it all the way to the Democratic National Convention. No woman in history, no woman at all in history had ever done that. Of course, I knew that I couldn't become President of the United States. But the time had come when persons other than a male could run. Why couldn't a woman run? Why couldn't a Black person run? I was angry that everything always redounded to the benefit of a white male. There were brilliant Black men and brilliant Black women, but people couldn't think of it. Somewhere, somehow, they had to get used to the idea that someone other than a white male could be president and should be. So I would say to young people, to all people, to study hard and get a good education, make up in your mind what you want to do. And whatever it is, drown yourself in it. Don't look to the left or to the right. Just plod on and only look to God and your conscience and not to men for approval. My name is Shirley Chisholm, and I am the first Black woman to ever be elected to Congress. I want people to say when they think of me, she had guts.
Shirley Chisholm's example transcends her life, and when asked how she'd like to be remembered, she had an answer. I'd like them to say that Shirley Chisholm had guts. And I'm proud to say it. Shirley Chisholm had guts.